Okay, recording this video after close of trade Monday, 7th of March 2011. We ended up closing down today. I think it was about 15 points or so. We had a top to bottom range of about 25 points. We're at 1308.75. 2.3 million contracts traded. Now, might have felt like a lot of bad news and everybody's saying market's down, blah 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 blah. But we're putting in a base here. This is better sine wave chart on a daily chart, and we're coming up to this cyclical turn tomorrow or the next day, kind of with confirmation. That will give us a cyclical support level here at about 1300, which will be a pullback and an uptrend signal, quite similar to what we saw kind of back here, and lead to a continuation of the uptrend. So I'm seeing a lot of kind of basing type activity, flushing out the sellers and putting in this kind of low at 1290, 1300. Trendline chart, just show you this, the 135-minute chart. Talked about this where we kind of initially broke up and then came back into the congestion zone here between these two trend lines. We kind of broke below that and kind of tried to make it back into the zone today. So this is kind of a critical level. We get big kind of breakouts happening from these. My gut feel is now saying we're going to continue to the upside for a little bit of a run to continue, and that's kind of based on the sine wave pattern with a pullback and an uptrend signal. If I look at the daily chart, we've now actually formed on the daily chart the same kind of thing, consolidation pattern here. And you can see each of these moves. They don't happen very frequently on the daily chart, but when they do, they lead to these big kind of breakout zones. Here's one back in, when was this? September. We had another small one here. We kind of came back into that zone. This one I think was November. Yep, leading into the rally starting the beginning of December. And now we've got one forming in the beginning of March. So big moves kind of tend to, or blow off moves tend to happen out of these consolidation zones. So it's important. This is why I'm kind of saying we're in a basing pattern, looking at the 40,500 tip bar charts. This is back last week. We had this kind of 1292 level, which is an end of trend warning signal. We'd had our exhaustion selling and our bullish divergence patterns from here. We rallied, amateur bars, Rambo patterns, came back down to test the 1300 level. Again, more exhaustion selling, bullish divergence patterns here, holding this low. We came back to break up to 1330, another Rambo pattern at the highs, and we've come back in. We've overshot this cyclical support area a little bit, but then this was Friday's activity. We had exhaustion selling on the downside. Today we put in that bullish divergence pattern down here. So a little bit of a surprise to me. I thought we wouldn't pull back so far. I thought we would might be coming to the 20s type zone and kind of break for 1330. Look at the 4,500 tip bar chart that I use for daily trend. I thought, after Friday's activity, where effectively this was an end of trend warning signal, we came in, had a flush signal, professionals buying the bottom here, and kind of getting going at the end of Friday. I thought this move was going to take off, and I thought this was this blue breakout bar just at the cyclical resistance level on the 4,500 tip bar chart. I thought that was maybe kind of jumping the creek, and we were going to go into an uptrend. So I was kind of busy trying to get long at the beginning of the day, and really didn't kind of clock that this was going to go short. Although everything's in place for a change of trend here. I keep on talking about this cyclical resistance, blue professional bars at the highs. You can see that blue professional bars at the high, and exhaustion selling. I beg your pardon, exhaustion buying at the highs. So we kind of moved into this downtrend move, which was pretty severe in terms of price destruction, like 25 points top to bottom. Now we've formed a pullback and a downtrend, and we kind of didn't have time to make the end of trend warning signal. We broke through that with this bar here. This bar for me is kind of jumping the creek at this point. We've come back in to test this, so cyclical resistance could well become support as the professionals kind of buying these lows here, and so we could well get this kind of rally kind of confirmed. So just looking at this highest time frame, 92, the 1300 type level, back testing 1302 was kind of the low today. So kind of critical levels that we could easily have built enough of a base for tomorrow's activity. A little bit of maybe consolidation, batting backwards and forwards between cyclical turns on the 4,500 tip bar chart, and then maybe breaking into an uptrend on Wednesday. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. On the 1500 tip bar chart, I shan't add some of the early trades I took today because they're not particularly interesting, and I was I had more longs than I had short, and I got out of my short trade way too early at 21, which was poor. But I do want to talk about kind of a re-entry long that I did right at the end of the day that worked out quite nicely. And I was looking for some kind of support today because we'd had this kind of bottoming pattern as I saw it on Friday that we kind of pushed past today, but this kind of effectively flushed out all of the sellers at this point. And one of the ways of being able to re-enter in these kind of change of trends is to look for second cyclical turns after end of trend on the 1500 tip bar chart. And what's neat about this, you can see on the 1500 tip bar chart today, the first end of trend that we formed was kind of early in the morning, and that didn't hold. We kind of broke through that. So looking for a second cyclical trend after this, we've broken into another downtrend down here, and again start looking for a second cyclical turn to hold. And this one didn't hold, and we had 3 in a row, kind of down here, down into 1302, 1304 here. But at that point, this is when we get a second cyclical trend after end of trend, where we're at similar type levels. I'd be looking for these where they're either at the level of the end of trend, a point, maybe 2 points kind of past it, or above it. And this was a nice little re-entry. And then this down bar here, amateur down bar, that kind of broken to the upside. And then this was a jumping the creek by the professionals, kind of getting into this move that kind of ran for about 5-6 points to the upside, which was kind of nice. I got in at 1308, took profits at 1311, but it was good for another couple of points past then. So just a useful kind of re-entry if you're looking for some kind of counter trend move, just waiting for second cyclical turns after end of trend, where that second cyclical turn level is kind of logical in terms of making a base here. So this one was above the end of trend and gave me some comfort that we were actually into a reversal trade here, and it stopped me getting into any of these end of trend signals too early. Waiting for that confirmation made me kind of hold through this. I must admit, I had to wait all day. This took a lot longer than I expected. I thought we'd have a turnaround kind of midday and put in one of these bottoms, but we just kept on breaking through. So I will attach that as kind of a late trade at the end of the day that worked out nicely. So anyway, I hope your trading went well today, and looking forward to Tuesday. Okay, just gone along at 1308 even, and the reason for going long here is we've had this whole series on the downside of end of trend warning signals on the 1500 tip bar chart. First one kind of early in the morning, second one, third one all the way down, kind of waiting for a second cyclical turn after end of trend, but we just kept on breaking through those levels into these end of trends. So this is the first one that's kind of holding on the 1500 tip bar chart, and you can see coming into here got blue professional bar kind of coming, first of all an amateur bar, then a blue professional bar, kind of bullish divergence. And when we look at the 500 tip bar chart, we've kind of got these bullish divergence signals and blue professional bars kind of coming in. This last push down was being led by the amateurs here at 1307, with a little bit of a testing bar, came to cyclical support, and now we've got a jumping of the creek here. So it's like we're about to break up here. 4500 tip bar chart, we've moved so far down, this pullback hasn't formed an end of trend warning signal, so this could well just get kind of violated to the upside until we get some kind of professional volume kind of coming in to take profits and take it down for a final test. But anyway, so long at 1308 even. Okay, I just came out at 1311 even, and made it up to 12, but I didn't get taken out on this little push. Shame, kind of was hoping we'd get a bit of follow through up at 12, but the reason for coming out is blue professional bar right at the highs, cyclical turn on 500, and a flush signal here, and I don't want to be pushing my luck at this point. It's been a huge down day, and so we've not got a change of trend, we've just got a kind of a little bit of short covering kind of happening here. So it was long at 8, out at 11 for 3. but just shows the beauty of this kind of waiting for these second cyclical turns after end of trend, where they kind of line up with either the end of trend level or a little bit above like that. So come back down quickly now, but anyway, so out at 2:30, nothing more to do for today.